Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's November 14, 2019, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, starting out at 3:30 South African time this afternoon, we have monthly PPI numbers coming out of the United States, and then at 5 p.m. South African time, we have Fed Chairman Powell will continue his testimony in front of Congress. Now, what I haven't added to the economic list is the fact that Donald Trump, the current president, is having impeachment hearings in regards to his phone call with the Ukraine. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but I would have thought that it would have caused havoc on the markets. It hasn't, okay, which means that they're shrugging it off, and that really means that the markets are really strong. Now, taking a look at the markets, we're going to start out with the currencies. The Aussie dollar tanks yesterday, leading the way for the euro to just continue trickling down, and we're looking at the Dow Jones back on its highs, really not really respecting this impeachment hearings whatsoever, just continuing to push higher. Now, looking at the commodities, gold was pretty much unchanged yesterday after its bounce from 1450-ish level to 1465. It's right there. It looks like it's exhausted its move, while oil rallies to resistance. And then lastly, looking at the stocks, rotation continuing. This time it's Apple to new highs. We're going to discuss that. But let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're first jumping into this Aussie USD. You can see pretty much we've been, selling off, tanking here to 67.39. Now, if it's going to continue with this kind of momentum, we can see it actually close into its lows of 66-ish level all the way down here. Okay, we're still far away from that, but if it does continue with this type of momentum, there's really no reason for it to not. And even if we look at a larger time frame, let's look at a daily just to give you a perspective of it. There's a little bit of a support here, but otherwise it could significantly sell off and continue. Now, looking at the Euro USD, we're solidifying here just now, but we just trickle down further. Okay, now it's not giving it to you in one momentum. It's just, like I said, trickling down. So it's a little bit more difficult to trade as these things kind of pick up momentum after the fact. Now, we're hitting a little bit of support here as well. So just be aware that it might be at the end of its move and it may actually bounce off of this area. Now, looking at gold, this is what I'm talking about. We're trading at 1467 this morning after bouncing off of the support of 1448 the other day. And still, this is questionable whether or not this bounce is going to sustain itself. And the reason I say that is because the Dow Jones is breaking new highs all again. So with that said, just be aware of that. Okay, it might look like it's spiking, maybe get to 1472 and then sell off. Now, looking at oil trading at resistance back to this 57-ish level. Now, this is a new resistance area that I'd like to call it because we've challenged it several times, 57, 54-ish level. And if we do break above it, then we can see it break out higher to maybe the $60 range. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, you're here. You can see we're back at 27,700-ish level right there at its all-time highs, over 60 points just selling off there. But it's at its all-time highs, okay? It remade new highs yesterday, and it's continuing. And we've mentioned this before that it takes a rotation. It's usually one stock and then another stock that goes higher, then pushes the markets higher. Now, yesterday it was Apple. Taking a look at that, 264, okay? I had a target of $250 for the end of the year. It surpassed my target. It's at $250 a share. Now, looking at Microsoft, also selling even higher, okay, at $147-ish, okay? But it really needs to carry through. I'd like to see a real breakthrough on the upside, maybe 200-300 points to get that confirmation. Maybe if they'll come out with these impeachment hearings and they'll just brush it off, maybe if we'll get, more concrete news from the China-U.S. relationship that had been ongoing, maybe the markets will take it even higher, okay? But as it stands right now, the markets are still breaking higher. They're very, very strong. Now, lastly, taking a look at JP Morgan at 128, didn't break out higher. So the bank stocks are taking a little bit of a breather right now while this rotation is happening and Apple taking things higher, okay? So with that said, there's a little bit of a rotation. And anytime there's a little bit of rotation, it's a little bit confusing because it's not all going together. It's going in systems, okay? So it's a little bit more difficult. But, the markets is still trending upwards and the consensus is still upwards unless there's any sort of surprises in the market. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.